Welcome to Academic Services. In this particular session, I want to give you a clear idea regarding how to prepare for the mains exam. When it comes to the mains exam, when you ask any person regarding how to prepare, then they will give you an idea or they will give you a suggestion to you, that is, you have to write answers regularly. Then even if they have given a good suggestion that is important for a main, that is we have to write answers, but you still have a question inside you, that is how to start an answers and what should be my introduction and how to write a good introduction. Then if you have written a good introduction, so what should be my content for that particular questions? The problem that we face is the lack of content in delivering the mains answers. Because of the lack of content for particularly to the mains exam, we are facing that difficulty in writing answers. So here I will help you regarding that, how to develop that skill, including the content enrichments, then how to write a mains answer. When it comes to writing answers, when you start, even though if you start writing answers, if you're writing, for example, introduction to a particular answer, you could not stop. You will continue writing in paragraph, next to line, next to sentences. You could not even end the introduction part. So this introduction part itself went beyond 50 words. But the question was asking about within 150 word limit, you have to address the core content, the core demand of the questions. So you have to limit your words. But when you start writing answers, introduction also going beyond the limits. And even if you have started the content writing, for example, point 1, then point 2, then if it is writing in a paragraph, writing your issues you're highlighting, then you're writing about the problem or suggestions, then that will goes. You are unable to make a full stop for those particular answers. That means that most of the cases, even if you have started writing answer with knowledge, you are unable to end within the word limits. That is also resulting into the problem of time management. Time management is also another problem that we face when we write answers. This is generally we have seen those who appeared even the earlier previous APSC mains also, they could not finish the entire 20 question. If you have taken one single GS paper, normally there will be a 20 question will be there. If you take GS 1, 2, 3, there will be 20 question will be there. And some question will be carried as 10 mark question. 10 question will be carried as 15 mark question. 10 mark question means they are asking to write an answer for 150 words. If it is 15 mark questions, then they are asking regarding to you have to write the answer within the limit of 250 words. So every questions, there is specifically mentioned regarding the word limit, and accordingly the mark is also carried, that is 10 and 50. So total in GS paper, if I am taking GS2 also, the total mark in GS2 is 250. But most of the cases when you are appearing for the mains, you are unable to finish this 20 question, or you are only able to write answers to the 10 question properly. Assume that you have written 10 question properly in the mains exam and you have written a good answer, and on an average, even if it is take, for example, out of 10 mark, the maximum mark that we will get in the mains exam will be 6 out of 10. Maximum mark. Imagine that you have written answer to the 10 question, and we can take an average that each of these 10 questions you have got 5 mark, and you could not write the remaining 10 questions. You could not answer. Either lack of the knowledge or the lack of issues regarding the time management. Assume that you have written 10 answers and you have got an average of the 5 mark each, then your score is 50 out of 250. But imagine there is another candidate. There is another candidate is also there. They have written 20 answers. For example, this candidate have written to the 20 answers, not a perfect answer. They have written answer to these 20 questions, whatever the way they can, and assume that an average mark that they have got is 3. Each question, when you consider the average, we can assume that because their answer is not a perfect, so they have got an average of 3 mark. Then when you multiply by 20 into 3, then mark is 60. Even they haven't written a perfect answer. But if you compare the 10 question answering and 20 question answering, the higher mark which is got to the 20 answer which they have written, 60 mark. So here is also matter that you have to give attempt to the all the questions which are asked in that particular paper. Maximum number of attempt you have to give, and each of these answers should address the demand of the question. That may not be perfect answer, but if you are taking an average, then overall you can even achieve 110 out of 250. This will be the average, the maximum mark a topper will be getting in case of GS papers. So how to achieve 100 plus mark in the GS paper? So in our mains course with the ACS team will also help you to score more than 100 in a strategic way. Now I will discuss regarding the steps that is required for preparing the mains. What are the steps that we need to follow when you write the mains answer? That I want to discuss now. The first step for preparing the mains is you have to understand the syllabus. What is coming under GS1 paper, GS2 paper, GS3 and GS4. GS4 is ethics and integrity. Then you have the Assam portion specifically under the GS5 paper. And GS1, 2, 3 paper also you will get some question specifically from the Assam specific will be there. But there is an exclusive paper in the GS5. So altogether you have 5 paper. You have to go through this syllabus and you have to identify the each modules, each syllabus. And you can segregate like this way also, which are that some of the content that you have already studied for the prelims exam. For example, history, you have studied for the prelims exam. Polity, some basic concepts and other facts that you have studied for the prelims exam. Geography concept and the basic, we have studied for the prelims exam. Science subject, we have studied for the prelims exam. Ecology, even current affair like IR topics, scheme, related initiative, we have studied during the prelims exam. So some of the syllabus in the mains exam that we have already have a knowledge when we are prepared for the prelims examination, you can identify that. But certain syllabus, for example, Indian society in the GS paper, post-independence in the GS1 paper. These are examples which we didn't study. For example, these 2 modules which we didn't study for the prelim. That means we have to prepare exclusively on this module. When it comes to GS2 paper, polity we have studied, but even though we have studied polity, we have to make that content for the mains perspective. Along with that, in GS2, we have a subject known as social justice module. So which is related to social sector, health, education, government policies, poverty, hunger, issues arising out of this social sector, the social justice. Then along with that, we have governance in the civil services, administrations, governance. Then after that, we have separate module on international relations, which include bilateral, multilateral relations, then Indian diaspora. These are part of these GS2 paper. That means these are exclusively mains. So this way you have to identify the exclusive mains content and some of the content which were integrated with the prelim. You have studied already that content, but we need to develop those content to the demand of the mains. And similarly, ethics, it is a separately an exclusive paper for mains exam. Ethics is also there, so that we need to study detail regarding each concepts coming under the GS4. And our faculties of these subject will explain you regarding the syllabus. They will give you introduction regarding that, how to prepare those syllabus as well. And along with that, we have an essay. I hope that you know that how to write an essay, or at least you are aware about how many questions are asked in essay and the word limit that we have to write in an essay, and the style of writing is important when it comes to essay. So how to write a good essay? So essay is also important, means the score that you have got in the essay is also determine your ranking in the final rank list of the APSC. So that essay we cannot ignore. Ethics, it's also personal, that is a score scored by one person to another person will be highly varied when it comes to ethics paper. GS normally everybody in an average score of 90 to 100 or 110. But when it comes to ethics paper, some candidates are scoring 70 mark or 60 mark, but the toppers, those who are in the list of APSC rank list, they are scoring above 100 or 90 plus. So how we can score more than 90 and 100 in the ethics paper? Similarly, essay paper is also there, that is also subjective. It will be depending upon that person, how they are writing answers in the essay paper. That will also determine their score or their total score in the mains paper. So that you should not ignore the importance of essay writing and the ethics paper. So first stage is know about the syllabus. When you know about the syllabus, next stage is the previous year question. I will show you the slides that has covered the steps for preparing the mains exam. You can see that first stage that we have studied, that is you have to understand the syllabus, then analyzing the previous year questions. You have to go through the APSC 2021 question paper. And how many questions are asked from each of the syllabus you have to identify. And what is a pattern? Is it same like UPSC? And which are the areas they are repeatedly asked? Previous year question means in case of APSC, we have only one paper, the last 2021 paper, that is up to the UPSC level. But we have UPSC previous year questions, so you can check the recent 2022, 2021, 2020, 2019 UPSC questions as analyzing the previous year question. Then by going through the previous year question, you will be able to identify the important area. Important area means every year they're asking that particular subject or a module repeatedly from those module or those chapters. Then that is important. Listing out of the probable area is the next stage. So when we have identified the important area, the next stage is this year. Which are the question can be that we can expect or probability is there? How we can identify the probability? Because there are current affair, some subjects, some topic which are connected to the current affair and discussed in the news multiple times. Already we have studied current affair for the prelims exam. And you already know that these topics were discussed in the news, so that I have to prepare because there is a chance this year they will ask a question in the mains. Then content enrichment. So you have a list of important areas, you have a list of probable areas, and you know the syllabus. Now you will have to develop a content. Content enrichment. Enrichment means it is specifically to the mains exam that you haven't got in attending any sessions for the prelims. The mains enrichment session is entirely different, that we are taking certain content that we can use it in the mains answer, and other things we are removing. Only we are taking the content that we can use it for the mains exam. So content enrichment is also part of it. Once we have learned this content, the next stage is we are making a framework that how to write an answer. So what is mean by answer writing framework? I will give you the idea regarding what is the idea behind this answer writing framework. When you start writing answer directly, nothing will comes in front of you. Nothing will comes here. You will have that struggle to start an answer writing. In order to avoid this kind of struggle when you face starting any mains answers, you have to plan something. You have to make a framework that is, if I'm giving you an idea regarding, so that we have to give an introduction. So you can plan like that, okay, this subject is related to concept, geography or whatever it is related to concept. Then my introduction is, I'm starting with a definition, that can be an introduction. Or other, for example, if it is related to any social sector issues, then I can start writing an answer from like mentioning any recent report, Niti Aayog report, UN any report, World Economic Forum report, Global Hunger Index, such a kind of any international or national based report, I can use it. Then sometime we can also use any quotes of any popular persons, Gandhi quotes, Ambedkar quotes, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel quotes, Nehruvian quotes, or any other popular words of international like personalities, their quotes we can use. Or sometime, for example, if I am going to start a writing answer for IR topic, international relation, then I can mention the DPSP of the Indian Constitution, that is Article 51, which it talks about the international peace and security. So I can start even by mentioning according to Constitution or constitutional provision under this article. So this way I can write an introduction. So this way you can make a plan that what content that you will write in an introduction to the answer. Introduction means that you are starting that answer in a one paragraph. That paragraph will be 2 sentences or 3 sentences. That will be depending upon the demand of the question. If it is 150 word, the minimum introduction sentence length will be 2 sentences. If it is 250 words, then it can be 3 sentences. If it is essay, then it will be a little longer, because essay will be carried as 1200 words. So that the essay writing, the introduction will be a little longer. So that will be varied from the subject to the subjects. So this way we are making a plan. Then you know that we have to write the major content, that is also part of the body parts. So okay, if the question was asking regarding issues related to poverty or issues related to hunger, then I have to identify the important point that I am going to write. You can write it just one, second point, third point. So you are making a plan before you start writing answer. So this is also part of the brainstorming workshop. And when you have joined it with our courses, we'll also train you, and we'll also give this training session to make framework. And gradually, when you practice this answer writing framework, within 2 minutes, that brainstorming will happen immediately when you see a question. And you will get immediately the content, that what should be my introduction, what will be my body part, and what will be my ending or a way forward or a conclusion. So that you have that skill now, then you can directly start answer writing after 2 minutes, just thinking about what will be my contents. Just imagine, just to make a plan in mind, then you are starting answer writing. So this we will develop through this answer writing framework session. That is meant by answer writing framework. Come back to this slide. Yes, then only we are starting writing an answer for the mains exam. Then after writing the mains exam, you have to take a feedback, and we are here. If you have joined with our test series or a course, we are here to give you feedback. When you have written an answer, whether it is bad or a good, no matter, we will give you the feedback. That feedback will be, these certain content are good, you have written in a good way, and some content that you can write in a different way, so that the evaluator will be giving more mark. It is up to the demand of that particular question, so that this way we will give you the improvement scope, and we will also correct your mistakes gradually. If you try for improvement, then there is a chances that you will get a good mark in the mains exam. These are the steps, the strategy that we have to follow for the mains exam. So the content will be introduction, then the body part, way forward, essay writing is also part of its style of writing. Sometime in the mains exam, we can also illustrate some content. It can be diagram, it can be any illustrations of the table, or can be a pie diagram or some graph you can write, depending upon that. Or even if it is geography, we can write the map of the Assam, map of India, map of the world. You can illustrate in the mains exam. And time management, so within the time, within the word limit, how to write an answer, then ethics exclusive session. These are part of our courses. I hope that you have understood how to write a mains answer. And we have discussed what are the steps that should be considered for writing a mains answer. If you are thinking that I need more guidance for scoring better in the mains, for writing better answers, and through that we will get good mark in the mains exam, that will help to score. And ultimately, when you calculate the total mark in the exam, you will get a top rank. So if you really think that, if you really need that, we have a course here. Our mains course is starting on April 3rd. Never be late. Don't wait for any kind of thinking on that. You have to start as early as possible, so that you can join this course. Even imagine that sometime there is a chance that we are waiting for the result. Sometime you could not qualify the prelims, but there is an option for you. If you think that you do not want to continue this course, then you can discontinue. When you are discontinuing on the basis of disqualification in the prelims, then you will get 100% refund as well. Then if you really want to continue for the future exam, that means Even though you know that I could not clear these prelims, but I know that this mains preparation is important for my dream. If you want to continue, you can continue for the same course. So if you really think that if this is benefiting you, you please join with our course. You will get the links. You can go through the link below. When you are going through the link below, you will get the details. And if you are planning to join, you can communicate with our expert academic counselors, and they will help you regarding the fee structure, the number of the classes, when we are going to start, the features of the course, etc. will be explained by our academic counselors. And with that, I'm ending the session. Thank you all.